Hello dear student, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we will learn concepts related to degree of carbon. So what is degree of carbon? This portion is the vital part of organic chemistry which will be used in mostly all the chapters. So have the complete idea with me. So let's start. So degree of carbon. Degree of carbon. So I have already told this portion belongs to organic chemistry portion. So you know it better that carbon is the vital atom of any organic compound. So we need to know the degree of carbon first to have the complete idea upon the organic compounds. So degree of carbon always depends upon the self-linking or catenation of one carbon or bonding of one carbon directly with other carbon atom. That means what I am telling, if a carbon is directly bonded to any other atom excluding carbon, then its degree does not change because carbon degree depends upon its direct bonding with other carbon atom. That means if I will tell it is one of the carbon which is bonded with no other carbon atom, or if it is bonded with a single carbon atom directly, then at that condition carbon atom has its degree 1. So what I have told, if a carbon is not bonded with any other carbon atom directly and if it is bonded to single carbon atom, then the degree of the carbon becomes 1. That's why what I have told in the degree section or degree of carbon section, that degree of carbon depends upon direct bonding of one carbon, direct bonding of one carbon with other carbon atom, with other carbon atom. So what I have told, degree of carbon depends upon direct bonding. It is the direct bonding of one carbon with other carbon atom. So when a carbon is not bonded with another carbon atom or bonded with a single carbon atom, at that condition a carbon is called as having the degree 1, or at that condition that carbon is called as 1 degree carbon atom, or primary carbon atom, or 1 degree carbon atom is otherwise called as primary carbon atom. So what I am telling, if the degree of carbon becomes 1, then if it contain, or if a primary degree carbon or 1 degree carbon contains a functional group, then that functional group will be called as a primary organic compound. That means what I am telling, consider the example of alcohol. And when this functional group of alcohol is bonded with a single carbon, and at that condition I am expressing the example in this side. So it is the carbon, and the carbon is bonded to the alcohol functional group, and in this case, if it contains only single high carbon atom and the valency of the carbon is satisfied by the hydrogen here. So in this condition, the degree of carbon is 1 because here no other carbon atom is directly bonded to this carbon, and in this condition the alcohol is called as primary alcohol. So why the name called primary? Because the alcohol's functional group here bonded with the 1 degree carbon, or the carbon which is not bonded with single carbon atom, or it also be called as primary when it will be bonded to this carbon or this carbon, because it is the first condition. It is the first condition what I have told, when carbon is not bonded with another carbon atom, and when carbon is bonded with a single carbon atom, then what will happen? The degree becomes 1. So when the alcohol functional group or any other functional group when bonded to primary carbon, then the type of organic compound becomes primary, and it is the condition for primary alcohol. In this way, we can deal different organic compound and classify them into different categories depending upon the degree of carbon. So, in this way, we have studied completely about the primary carbon. And now, moving for the second one, that is the secondary carbon or the 2 degree carbon. So, for the 2 degree carbon, only one condition is there. That means, what is the condition here? Here the condition is when the carbon atom is bonded with 2 other carbon atom, when the carbon is bonded with 2 other carbon atom, directly the vacant positions can be filled by hydrogen or any other atoms or functional group excluding carbon, because if you will attach your carbon, the degree may change. So here the vacant positions or vacant the bonds can be filled or can be satisfied by using the hydrogen. So in this case, what I have told that if this carbon is directly bonded to this carbon and this carbon, so the degree of the carbon becomes 2, because here when one carbon bonded to 2 other carbon atom directly, then it is called as secondary carbon or 2 degree carbon. And when any functional group is attached to a secondary carbon, then the type of organic compound becomes secondary. That means you can mark that when I have told for alcohol, I have attached alcohol's functional group to primary carbon here, but when the functional group of alcohol becomes attached to the second degree carbon, then it is the second degree carbon. When the second degree carbon contains the functional group of alcohol, then the type of alcohol will be called as secondary alcohol rather than primary alcohol, because here the functional group is bonded to 2 degree carbon. That's why the organic compound is called as secondary organic compound, and the secondary organic compound here express the alcohol. That means here the organic compound is secondary due to presence of the functional group bonded to the 2 degree carbon atom. In this way, we have completed the secondary carbon concept. Moving for the third concept, and the third type of carbon, which is the tertiary carbon. And in case of tertiary carbon, as the name shows tertiary, what happens? A carbon is directly bonded to a carbon when carbon is directly bonded to when a carbon is directly bonded to three other carbon atoms, mark that this carbon is bonded to this carbon, three different carbon atoms directly. That's why the valency of the carbon gets satisfied and the carbon type is called as third degree, and it is called as third degree carbon because three carbon surrounds the middle carbon directly, and it is called as tertiary carbon atom. Tertiary carbon atom. And when any functional group, you can consider alcohol, you can consider amines, primary amines, you can consider haloalkane, when bonded to this carbon, then the nature of the organic compound becomes tertiary. That means when the functional group of alcohol attached to the tertiary carbon, then it is called a tertiary alcohol. So in this way, different types of organic compound can be obtained due to different varieties of degree of carbon. So moving for the next part, that is the last part of the degree of carbon, which is the quaternary carbon. That means when a carbon, I am just wiping this part because we have very low space here. So here it is the primary carbon we have mentioned first. It is the primary carbon. And the last one is the quaternary carbon here. Quaternary carbon. So the quaternary carbon atom is that type of carbon atom which is bonded to four other carbon atom directly. That means here the carbon is bonded to four other carbon atom, and so when a carbon is bonded to four other carbon atom, in that condition the carbon is called as quaternary carbon. And in this case, you know that this carbon is bonded to four different carbon atom directly. That's why it is called as quaternary carbon. And in this case, the quaternary carbon has no bonding property. That means why I am telling that it has no bonding tendency, because this carbon atom or the quaternary carbon atom cannot be bonded with any other functional group. So the organic compound which has different types depending upon the degree of carbon, it shows only three types of different organic compound. That means it has primary organic compound, secondary organic compound, tertiary organic compound, but you will not find the quaternary type of organic compound using the functional group, because functional group cannot be bonded to a quaternary carbon, because carbon has tetravalency nature which has got satisfied by the four other carbon atoms. That's why quaternary carbon cannot produce any varieties of organic compound which contains functional group. That's why it is a unique type of carbon atom which comes under the degree of carbon. So if you have any doubt in this lecture, comment in the comment section. If you like the video, subscribe our channel, share the channel with your friends. Thank you.